We're at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, where on Saturday, Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech meet on a key ACC game. Our game preview is presented by Bojangles. Be sure to stop by the Blacksburg, Christiansburg, or Radford Bojangles on your way to the game. Make your tailgate legendary. Welcome to our game preview alongside Mike Burnop. I'm Bill Roth, getting set to call Saturday's game between the Hokies and the Jackets. It's a big one, Mike. We come down the stretch in the ACC.
Yeah, it is, and the Hokies are coming off two nice wins, Bill, so they got momentum. They got it going their way. They got another home game, another sellout, Maroon Effect, Breast Cancer Awareness Day. It's going to be awesome atmosphere.
You mentioned the Hokies are coming off back-to-back wins. What a great performance from the Stars in the victory over Boston College. A record-setting day for guys like Bashal Tutin and Antoine Power Island.
It was unbelievable for Bashal Tutin. I mean, think about that, Billy. He had 266 yards. All the great running backs that have been around here all these years, he sets the record, and he did it on 18 carries. Averaged almost 15 yards per carry. Unbelievable job by him. And then APR getting 4 sacks again for the multiple game. That's, what, 3 now he's gotten 4 sacks? Incredible job by him, and it really makes a difference when the defense is creating turnovers.
You know, and it also makes a difference when Kyron Drones is playing well. When the Hokies quarterback plays like he did against BC and the way he did against Stanford, so efficient, so accurate with his arms and his legs, when he plays like that, Mike, the Hokies are tough to beat.
They are, and you think about it, he was, what, 12 of 13. The one pass in the first half was dropped. So he was very efficient, averaged 4 yards per carry when he was running the football too, Bill. So, yeah, he's more comfortable. I think the offensive line has been great. They're getting great blocking downfield from the wide receivers and the tight end. So it's the offense is clicking right now.
It is now. As for Georgia Tech, the Jackets come into the game 5-3 after losing to Notre Dame at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium last week in Atlanta. A lot of unknowns about Georgia Tech because we don't know exactly who the quarterback will be. In fact, the Jackets have a bunch of injuries leading into this game.
Yeah, there's like 5 of them. But the big one is Haynes King. I mean, he's the quarterback. He makes such a difference. There's not that much difference between him and Pyron, the next guy, right? Because they're both about the same size. Maybe Haynes King has got better legs, but Pyron maybe has a little better arm. But their wide receiver's supposed to be back. Their linebacker's questionable. He may be back. So they've got a little bit banged up against Notre Dame. You know, that was the #1 rushing offense going into that game, Bill. They had 64 yards against Notre Dame's defense. So you got to wonder. They went from 371 against Carolina to 64. So I think the advantage there might be for the Hokies. They'll be able to run the ball against that defense.
We all know about Zach Pyron, Mike. It was 2 years ago here at Lane Stadium when he made his very first start. He had a big, big day. He had 359 yards of offense in his first start here at Lane and a win for Georgia Tech over the Hokies.
Yeah, Coach Pry mentioned that on his radio show the other night that, we had to lead and let it slip away from us. And they got beat by 1 point, 28-27, I think it was. They scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. So he was a big part of that.
All right, let's take a look at Mike's keys to the game. They are presented by Bojangles, the Hokies, and the Jackets. How do you see it?
Well, number one, you got to keep the Yellow Jackets in the hive. You know, have you ever been stung by a yellow jacket, Billy?
I have.
They're not very pleasant. I was mowing my grass one day, and they're subterranean. They're in the ground. And so I go over there, and I see this hole, and they were mad. They came out, and they got me pretty daggone good. So I think that's what you're going to see tomorrow. So you got to keep their weapons in the hive. That's Haynes King, if he plays, the quarterback. They rely on their running game. Got to shut down the running game for them. Jamal Haynes is a really good running back. You got to keep their weapons in check. Shut down the running game, make they beat you throwing the football.
Meanwhile, for the Hokies, you know what they're going to try to do. The last couple of games, Tutin has been so amazing. How many touches for the tugboat?
I think he's got to have at least 20. You know, he had 18 runs the other day, plus he had that catch that he had. It was a remarkable touchdown catch as well. But he's a guy that needs to touch the ball a lot, and I think you'll see that tomorrow for sure.
Now, the Hokies over the last couple of weeks have done a tremendous job of getting deep red turnovers. In fact, 4 times in the last 3 games against Miami, 2 down there, 1 at Stanford, and 1 last week, Mike. They caused the turnover inside the 10.
Yeah, the red zone turnovers are huge. I mean, it's just makes such a difference in the momentum and whatnot. Hokies been great at that. 3 turnovers last week. You know, all the Hokies turned it over 3 times themselves, but they forced a turnover in every game except that first game against Vanderbilt. So they're kind of on a roll there, Bill. And the impressive thing is, think they forced 8 fumbles, and they recovered 5 of those. So that's trending in the right direction as well.
Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. Saturday, game is at noon. Our pregame coverage on our Virginia Tech Sports Network begins at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Join us on your hometown Tech Sports Network radio affiliate or on Sirius XM Channel 193 or anywhere in the world on the Hokies Sports mobile app. It is the Maroon Effect game. Homecoming 2024, Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. We'll see you here at Lane Stadium.